Have you ever wondered what you'd do if one of your posts suddenly blew up and went viral? Well, wonder no more. We're diving deep into the do's, the don'ts, and the oh my gods of going viral on social media. Or maybe you already have had a video or two get a lot of hits. Did you have any great engagement from that? Did you get any good followers, or did you sort of not know what to do? We're going to cover that too. So grab your notebooks. This episode is packed with actionable tips that could turn your 15 minutes of fame into a lifetime of success. Let's get into it. Welcome to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo, where we're all about mixing tried and true strategies that actually work with the magic of manifestation and the science of programming your unconscious mind so that you walk away feeling integrated, inspired, and aligned. I'm Renee Bowen, certified life and business coach, professional photographer, middle-aged wife, and mom to now 3 grown kids. I've built 2 multiple 6-figure businesses with 0 business training by digging in, learning the methods, and now I'm here to pass them all on to you. From photography and business strategies to energy healing, human design, and the basics of manifestation, we cover it all here. I'm here to help you embrace your multi-passionate brains and lean into the fastest and most efficient ways to reach your goals, whatever they may be. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, or maybe you're just here for the woo-woo, let's dive in and explore all the exciting ways to take your life, business, and self-improvement to the next level. Thanks for joining me, and get ready to be inspired. Okay, so your post is blowing up. What's the first thing you're going to do? I know a lot of people literally find it hard to even put yourself in this position of thinking that your post could actually go viral. But trust me, it does happen. I had someone in one of my classes not long ago when I was teaching a TikTok specific class who is a senior photographer. And I think it was the only post she had made. And it got over 160,000 views. And that was her only post. She never did anything with it after that. So she didn't understand how to capitalize on it, didn't really know anything about that. And so now she was it was a year and a half later. She's I don't even know what to do with it at this point. And so I don't want that to happen to you. I also want you to anticipate something like this happening, because when you have things in place, you're going to be so much better prepared. So that's what this episode is about. I am in the midst of doing a 30-day visibility challenge right now. I've got over 66, 67 people in there right now. And we are, holding each other accountable. I'm giving daily prompts. People are posting multiple times. They're supporting each other, which is also helping to grow their own platforms and expand their reach. And it's just been really, really awesome. So all of this social media stuff is just really top of mind for me right now. And I know that this is something that a lot of you guys don't think enough about what if I do get a post that is far reaching, that even if it just hits more than 10,000 views, what does that mean? Did I get any followers from it? Because in the past you would, right? In the past, let's say a year and a half, 2 years ago, 2020 and 2021 specifically, if you had a post that did really well, you were going to get followers from that post almost automatically, but that is not the case anymore. I, especially on TikTok, see a lot of creators, photographers, entrepreneurs have a post that really hits. And I see it come up on my For You page, and they've got, hundreds and thousands of views. And I go to their page and they have 400 followers. They haven't even reached 1,000 yet so that they can get that link on their profile. And I'm oh my gosh, they're not even getting the benefit of having this viral post, because the whole thing is that when you have something that far reaching and you get so many new eyes on your brand, what then? You want a place to lead them. Yeah, it would be great if you could get those followers, but it would be even better if they went to your website and became clients in some way, or at least helped build your platform so you could get to more of your current clients in your local market. And that's what it does when you have something that is far reaching. Even if you have a post that goes viral, and let's say you're a photographer from a small town, okay? And you're Renee, it doesn't matter, if I go viral because I only have like, a limited amount of people in my town, it doesn't matter. Well, it does kind of matter. Okay. I'm going to argue with you a little bit on that, because when you have that social proof, okay, so let's just say you have consistently shown up on social media. You are growing your platform. You're in a small town, but you have like 50,000 and up, followers on TikTok, or you've got a few videos that have a lot of views. And that is going to help your clout in your local area with your local teens, because you're going to be seen and positioned as the person who everybody wants to shoot with, because you've got this social proof. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. This is just how the world works, especially with teenagers right now. So you kind of do want that. You kind of do want to be known. Okay. I see photographers, especially on the daily, but all kinds of creative business owners, but specifically senior photographers who are always coming to me and saying things like, I don't understand why I don't have enough clients. Like, I'm really good at what I do, blah, 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 all of these different things. And my first thing is like, how are you standing out in your market, and how are you positioning yourself? Right. So in a sea of sameness, in a sea of like saturation and, quote unquote, good photographers, because there's so many good photographers now because cameras have become so good. So how are you, first of all, setting yourself apart in your artwork and things like that? That's really, really, really important, obviously. But also, how are you setting yourself apart as that person that everybody wants to go to? Are you sought after? Okay, this is one of those ways to become sought after, is to become the person that everybody wants to shoot with. And one of the ways to do that is to have like this social media presence that is known. Okay, so become known. Okay, so we can all agree that, going viral isn't a bad thing. A lot of you guys, I know, have this kind of fear of showing up, and there's a secret like, oh my God, I really don't really want to go viral. Okay, but I want to take some of that charge away from it. I want you to start looking at it as a neutral observer. I talk about that a lot on this podcast, like become the neutral observer of your life. And this is one of those places where you can do that. So I want to take some of the fear away from going viral by helping you prepare for how to deal with when that does happen, what to have in place so that you can really capitalize on it, and also how to help the post get more traction. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that after you post on any platform, whatever platform it is, you don't want to just post and ghost. Okay. And that is one of the things that I've been talking about in this challenge with a lot of the people in there, is that, you might have had this habit of, maybe you schedule your posts. Okay. And I totally get that. I'm really big on efficiency. I talk about that in my little mini course, Repurpose. And I use things to help me repurpose my content as well. Like, big believer in it. Yes, yes, yes. However, social media is social, right? And so you have to also tell the algorithm what you want it to do with your content. And, I'm not going to really get into all the nuts and bolts of content creation in this podcast, because it would be far too long. We're going to mainly focus on how to help your engagement, how to get you to go viral, and what to do, if you do, and how to prep for that, more importantly. But I really want to at least highlight, you've got to tell the algorithm what you want it to do with this content. And so one of the best things that you can do, first of all, is once you post, or after you know that you have something scheduling to go and post, you want to go engage with your audience immediately after. Okay. You want to absolutely respond to any comments immediately. You want to invite more engagement by maybe asking some questions in the comment, that kind of thing. You want to show up. You don't want to just post and ghost and leave the platform. You want to be on the platform for at least about 10 minutes so that you can tell the algorithm and the platform, hey, I value this. I know I just posted some content. I would like you to send more people to my content. So I'm going to go and engage with my audience and be a supporter and give out some of this attention that I want back. Because remember, the algorithm, whatever algorithm it is just like life. You get out what you put in. And it's not just me, telling you my opinions here. According to Sprout Social, posts that receive immediate engagement within the first hour are more likely to gain traction. So that's another reason why you don't want to just post and ghost. Another little thing you can do is, especially on TikTok, you can put your first caption, your first comment yourself. So your caption definitely, and again, it's going to be hard for me not to get into some strategy on here because it's just where my brain goes, but you can definitely put, there's a strategy to your caption as well. So you can put something in the caption that's going to invite people to, stick around and engage with you, but you can also leave the first comment and ask a question. And so it's another line of content. It's another point of interaction between you. Maybe somebody's just kind of skimming and they see the comment first before they see anything else. And so it's just another little way to invite that engagement, but you should be going out there and engaging with other people's content as well. Another little bonus thing that you can do that works really, really well, especially on TikTok, is that you can go live right after you post. So I know that's terrifying for a lot of you guys, but I promise you it is one of the fastest ways to grow on TikTok in particular. And I get it. I hate going live. Literally, it makes me want to vomit. I don't know why. I can definitely go live on Facebook. I can even go live on Instagram. It's a whole different thing. And I do Zooms and coaching and group stuff all the time. But there's something about going live on TikTok that just gives me the hives. But when I do it, I see an immediate, and I mean immediate, interaction, response, engagement, higher numbers, and you get more followers that way because it's the algorithm. You're telling it that you are staying on the platform and you're delivering value to the people. And so you maybe, schedule that. You can even, schedule that post and let your people know that you're going to be going live to talk about the post that you just posted. So you can kind of build on that content and invite more engagement and invite more people into your universe because ultimately that's what we want. We want to just build this community. Social media is social. It is about building your tribe. It's really important that you guys get that. I know that, we talk about social media as a way to get clients, and yes, it's 100% valuable. And that's why I do what I do and help you guys through it. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this challenge. But ultimately, you really have to frame it as a way for you to connect. It's about connection and building relationships and building trust. Now, it's also been said, as a side note, that you have to train the algorithm, whatever one it is, with at least 30 different pieces of content for each type of content they offer. So let's just take Instagram, for example. You've got feed, right? Static posts. You've got reels. You have your story content, going live. And you also even have guides. They still have guides and things like that. So you have to produce 30 different pieces of those content before the algorithm really knows how to categorize you. And so all of that is your SEO strategy. It's all very, very important when you're strategic about it. Things really line up for you and it makes your marketing just hella easier. Okay, so now let's talk about how to prepare for when a post does go viral, when and if that happens, right? We are always thinking in the positive, what to do, what to have in place so that you don't scramble and you don't feel like you're chasing your tail. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a lead magnet? Do you have an email provider? Do you send regular emails to your clients? Because I don't care who you are, this is an absolute must. Because we do not own our social media platforms. It is a tool, it is a valuable and can be a really awesome tool, but we don't own that presence, okay? So you always want to have a way to lead those social media followers, people who engage with you, your community. You want to have a way to lead them very easily into either a marketing funnel or at least a lead magnet that leads them into your email list so that you can continue to nurture that person by delivering value via email and or your website. That's obviously, we want them in your universe. Okay. The best way to do that is to get them on an email list. I personally love and use FLODESK. I'll put the link below in the show notes because you can get 50% off when you sign up with this link. And it's pretty, it's easy. It's a lot easier than MailChimp and all that. So I'm not going to go into the details of it. I want you guys to at least look into this because This is an integral part of your business, not just getting people into an email funnel, but also creating the workflows that are going to nurture that client and eventually bring them to a sale. People 100% still buy from emails, and it is the best way to really connect with your audience. So let's use that example of the photographer I was talking about earlier in the episode. I'm going to keep bringing her up because it's a really good case study on what she could have done to really, capitalize on this like incredibly viral post. So in this case, had she had a lead magnet on, first of all, she should have gone back and responded to the comments, every single one. I know it takes a lot of time, especially when you have a post that goes viral. You're going to get a lot of likes and comments. Some of them are not going to be nice. I'm going to say that. So if anything is like really inflammatory and bullying and gross, just delete it and block the person and just move on with your life. Like, honestly, don't even give that a second thought. But if it's just something that's like a little controversial and it's not hurting anyone, leave those comments, because those comments are going to invite other comments. And if there's a little bit of controversy happening in your comment section, that's going to help your post go even more viral. So that is a very big tactic that some marketers even use on purpose. Like, they will intentionally misspell a word or do something a little off or strange that will invite comments to, to that thing that happened in the video. And it really maybe not even has anything to do with the video, but it invites engagement. So engagement is engagement. But I'm going to tell you, if you have mean people in there, just delete it and block it and move on, because unfortunately, when you do have a post that goes very, very viral, you're going to get some not so great comments. But I did want to mention that if you do have something getting a lot of engagement like this, you need to be responding first and foremost to every single one of those. Just set aside some time and try and get it done. If you can do it quickly, that's the best thing. If not, just go back to it as soon as you can. And you really should be like marking some of those comments that are really good. Maybe they're awesome questions that lead into more of what you do, right? Go back in and flag those. You can favorite the comments. And so you can go back and then you can respond to that comment or question with another video. And that is the best thing that you should be doing, and the first thing. And then, of course, you want to have a place to lead them. Now, if you don't have enough followers, like especially on TikTok, to have a link in your bio, it doesn't really apply on Instagram. You can put your link up there. But if you don't have enough followers on TikTok to have a link in your bio to lead them to your website or a lead magnet, you can do some other little things to lead people in that direction. One little sneaky thing that I have been doing recently that works really, really well on TikTok in particular, you can have playlists, which I think is awesome. Like, we have highlights on Instagram, but playlists on TikTok is actually really, really valuable. So I have these public playlists and you can name them whatever you want. Well, you can also name it the website, your actual website, like reneebowen.com. I also have one that just says text me, and it has my business text number. So people can just text me when they are watching that video, and I have put it on that playlist. The playlist name comes up at the very bottom of the screen. So you can even reference it in the video. If you're doing a talking one, you can say, hey, you want to reach out to me? Just text me at that number below. If you don't have a number where people can text you, that's a business line. Just put your website and say, get on my list, right? Like, so, and make the link a tiny URL, something really small and catchy. I have this set up with one of my own domains. I have renee.io, and I can use that I can create like small links for any link that I have that's a really long link. So I can have one, like for instance, for this 30-day challenge, I have renee.io/30 days. I have it for so many different things. It is really handy. So if you have the capability to do that, to make your own branded tiny URL, you can do it. I do it through bit.ly. And there's other resources, I'm sure. But the point is, you want to make it easy, right? You want to make it easy and fun. And this is a little sneaky little trip that you can use on TikTok. So at least put your website below and just point to it in a video and say, hey, get in touch with me, or have a link to the lead magnet that goes into the workflow that you want to put them into. So regardless of whatever kind of posts you're doing, because again, there's top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. And the bottom is really where we are doing more of our CTAs, calls to action, getting people to do, take an action. However, because of the form of short form videos like TikTok and Reels, and the potentiality to go viral, you should always at least have a clear way, a clear path for people to go off platform to you. And now the platforms don't want this to happen. They don't want it to be easy for you to take someone off of their platform. So you can't really be putting all of these CTAs in all your content. Also, it turns people off. So you're not going to want to be promoting constantly in words, saying things like, get in touch with me, or book a session, blah, blah, blah. You can weave some of that into it, but if you do too much of it, your videos are going to get suppressed and people are going to get turned off. So you have to be really creative and a little sly in how you do that. One of those things is the little tip I gave you earlier about putting the name of it in your playlist name, but at least have some sort of way for people to want to find more out about you. Another thing that I used to do before I had followers on TikTok way back is sometimes in the video, I would try and just get them to Instagram. And I can't really say that like, hey, follow me on Instagram, because again, TikTok's algorithm, they really don't like it when you try and pull people off the platform. So you can try and put some words on screen. Again, they can read that. So it may not work as well. It just depends. But every now and then I would throw in at the very end of my video, like just the little Instagram sticker, and just with my at Renee Bowen, and just kind of point to it, or just have it just pop up at the very end. Because if people like my content and they're like, ooh, I want to know more, and I didn't have the link in my bio yet, at least I could get them to Instagram, where I do have a link in my bio, and it's a better platform for DMing. So what you'll see is that this is actually some people's entire strategy. They use TikTok for reach only, visibility only, and to build, that clout, to build that word of mouth, because the potential to go viral is quite a bit higher over there. And we all know that Gen Zers, those of us who do market to Gen Z and even younger, they're not using Google anymore, you guys. Like, they don't use Google, especially in the way that they used to. They're using TikTok, especially to, find us. So we absolutely have to have a presence there. And you can use it specifically with that in mind, meaning you're using it for visibility. You want people to find you on TikTok. You want to have a big presence there. That's where you maybe focus most of your marketing intention. Like, you start with TikTok. For me, that's part of my strategy, is I start with TikTok, and then I will repurpose those most of the time for Reels and other platforms. And that also helps with just like the mindset of feeling like you're everywhere, right? So pick a platform and focus on that, and then repurpose on other places. If you don't have the capacity right now to do it, intentionally on all platforms. So a lot of people, this is the strategy. We use TikTok for the potential to go viral, to build our platforms, to get our videos seen by lots and lots of people. And then we use our other platforms like Instagram to nurture and provide more value. So again, we're not going to really get into strategy per se, because I do that in other podcasts, and I'm talking a lot about that right now with my challenge members inside of our Voxer thread. But I really just want you guys to understand that you can use the platforms, and you should, in different ways. And it really helps with your capacity issues. It helps you not feel so burnt out. But that can be a really effective way to get people in your DMs into Instagram. So there are little creative ways to get people off the platform. You just kind of have to be a little sly about it. Okay, so you have been engaging with the people who are commenting. You are letting some controversy happen, if it seems to happen a little bit, as long as it's not inflammatory or mean or hurt your feelings, make you cry. That's not okay. You are pointing people to a link of some kind. Hopefully, that eventually will lead people into a lead magnet so that you can start serving them more value in an email and some kind of workflow there. And you are also possibly getting people to DM you on Instagram or at least on TikTok. Like you can still DM people on TikTok as well. You just have to make sure it's set up in your settings. The DMs is where all the good stuff happens. That's where you can actually really connect with people. So I love doing that and interacting with my audience in DMs. Yeah, you see a lot of spammy stuff. It does open you up to potential weirdos. You got to be careful. But it is really the best way to connect with people. So especially on Instagram, the best thing you can be doing is if you have a video that goes viral and you're getting more followers, you don't need to follow everybody right back. You can if you think that those people are part of your target audience. You absolutely can. But the best thing you can be doing is sending them a hello and a welcome DM that actually comes from you and not a bot. I know that Instagram has those automatic response things that, will come up when someone DMs you. And those can be really good to put in place, I guess. But I don't use them. I think that it feels really impersonal. I do have one set up for like my Facebook page, just because I'm not really super active over there. And I really don't love Messenger. I prefer to have most of my conversations with potential clients in Instagram DMs because it's just an easier platform. I can even send voice notes. I know you can do that in Messenger too, but I don't love it as much. So you have to decide, what's going to work best for you and your business. And that's all that really matters. So figure that part out. But I do think that the autoresponders aren't necessarily that great. I know it saves us time. You don't want to be on the platform very much, but people really like connecting with people. Okay. And you can tell if someone is trying to sell you something right away in your DMs, or if they're actually just saying, hi, thanks for following me, And so one of the things that I like to do is I don't do it every single time, like in real time, because I don't have the capacity for that. And it's also something you can hand off to an intern or like a social media, or a VA, someone who's helping you with your business, which I have done and do as well, where I have like a little template that I like to send people, but I customize it for everybody as well, because maybe I'm going to look at their feed and I'm going to see something that's interesting. And I want to make it really personal. Like, hey, I'm not just trying to sell you into something. I'm a real person. I want to say hi. And I want to thank you for coming over to this platform and following me here. Like you obviously saw something in that viral video that you liked. How can I help you like get more of that? What was it about that? Like have a conversation with people. That really is going to go a lot further than anything, because you're actually connecting. People want to be seen and heard. And also it's a really good way for you to source information about your target client as well. Now, the next thing I want you guys to be thinking about is when you do have something going viral, what was that video about? Because that is what the algorithm now wants you to make more content about. So you kind of have to be careful, because early on in TikTok, I had, I was using my platform obviously for business and in doing a lot of business related stuff. And I was kind of still figuring out the platform. And honestly, back in 2019, it was a really different platform than it is right now. However, I had a random video. I had this really funny video. There was a trend that was happening at the time. And I was like, oh my God, this would be really hilarious, because I had this video of my cat. Anyway, long story short, this video got like ridiculously viral. I mean, like, I don't even know how many it is at this point. I haven't looked in a long time. It got real viral, and it was a cat video. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to now tell the algorithm that that is not what my content is about? And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. So you really need to have some sort of strategy going into this, right? Like, so what is your brand message? What is your brand voice? Who is your target client? What are their pain points? How do you solve them? Are you going to lean more into target client pain point marketing, or are you going to lean more into the, let me show you the dream of working with me? Because those are two different things. It's kind of the, same coin, two different sides, but there's a strategy involved. And so when you do have a video that goes viral, and most of the time, these are accidental, right? It's like, oh my God, I had something that, like, again, let's go back to that photographer that I was talking about as our example. She did not intend for that video to go viral. It was literally just a video about, I think it was shooting a cheer like with her team, like a cheerleading kind of video. And she didn't expect it to go viral. It was totally accidental. However, it was in line with what she does. So instead of just like kind of ghosting the platform and going away, she could have done another video exactly like it. Or this is the really funny, tricky thing, is pushed out the same exact video. Okay. Maybe it's the same content in the video. Put a different song to it, switch it up in some way, maybe do a green screen explanation of here's what I was doing here. Oh, this pose is this. There's so many different things. You can take that same content. This is the cool thing about TikTok, you guys, especially. You can post the same video over and over and over and over again in sort of like different ways, right? Or different like types of ways, meaning you can use a green screen on one, you can use a voiceover for another, you can try different trending sounds, you can cut it up, splice it up, maybe make it shorter. You can use the same sort of thing. The messaging is the same, and the algorithm is in the know. The algorithm knows that, okay, this is something that she went viral for before. So we're going to keep pushing this stuff out. Our photographer could also have gone live, right? The day or two after it, or maybe once it started building traction and there was, over 100,000 views, going live and talking about it and saying, oh my God, I didn't expect this video to go viral. You guys had such a great response. I'd love to know, what questions do you have for me about this? Are you photographers? Are you wondering how I did this? Are you high school seniors? Do you want to do a shoot like this of your own and you don't know how to explain it to your photographer? Or maybe you have a video that goes viral about fashion trends. Okay, do more of those. First of all, make it a series, because that's a cool thing too, is again, you can make a series, you can make a playlist on Instagram, you can put it on a highlight. There's so many different ways that you can make that content continue to live on. And one of the best things you can do is just go live and talk about it with your audience. That also will bring more people to your content. Okay, guys, I wanted to just let you know that you absolutely still can join this 30-day visibility challenge. You've been hearing me talk about it inside of this episode. And as of today, October 4th, which is Wednesday, we are still in like a week and a half. So we don't end until October 20th, and you still have time to join us. If you need help staying accountable, ideas for content, prompts daily, you get access to a Notion document that I keep adding to as well with content that's going to help you way after this challenge is over, by the way. So if you really need some help with your marketing, just in general, and I love the accountability of our Voxer group because people are in there just asking all of these amazing questions that really serve everyone. So I want you in there. It's $11. Like, I've made this super accessible for you guys because I want as many people to get as much value from it as possible. You absolutely can still join us. I would love to see you in there. Just go to renee.io/30 days. I'm going to put the link below as well. And I hope to see you inside. I do want to touch really quickly on this point of overpromotion, right? So we know that people get turned off by that. It's also not a great idea to be selling constantly. And one of the things I see in particular with photographers is that you're kind of just stuck for content. You're just kind of sharing the same kind of stuff over and over again, usually BTS stuff. I get it. It's really easy. I'm guilty of it. I've totally put stuff out there that I'm like, this is not the greatest, but whatever. It is what it is. We all have those moments, but it's not a strategy, right? And jumping on trends is also not a complete strategy. So it's really important for you to understand what your content strategy is, who you're speaking to. Again, you guys hear me talking about this a lot. If you listen to me, if you're in my coaching, you know that all those things really, really, really matter. And standing out, that's one of the most important things. And what I mean by that is even with your marketing. So if you're doing the same kind of like BTS, here's so-and-so's video, we had the best time, I loved her outfits, blah, blah, blah. We went to this location, book a session. I only have 2 left in November. If people are seeing that over and over again, that their brains are going to become desensitized to it. Even your most loyal followers, they're going to keep seeing the same stuff and they're going to be like, okay, that's all she's talking about. So we constantly do, unfortunately, have to be, leaning in to our creativity because we're creatives and relying on our special sauce. What makes you different? And really outlining that for people because they don't know until you tell them or show them, I should say. And the other reason that being consistent, I know I spoke to this a little bit earlier and how we have to train the algorithm, to let it know what our content is even going to be about and who it's for. The other thing about that is if you have a post that goes viral and you have no other posts to back it up at all, or it's completely different from all your other content, people are going to go to your feed, right? They're going to go to your feed first to see what else you have. I have heard many, many times from people who end up in my one-on-one coaching or even my groups, and they'll tell me things like, especially in terms of photographers, because I market to both photography clients, because I still run a photography business, and I also market to creative entrepreneurs because I coach photographers and creatives on mindset and business strategies and all of the unconscious mind things, right? So I've got kind of a lot going on right there, right? So it could be overwhelming to understand how to do that. But again, you got to be organized with it. But I have had a lot of people, especially in those coaching spaces, come to me once they hire me, and they'll tell me things like, I've been watching your content for a long time. Like I've binged all your content. I love it all, et cetera, et cetera. And then they eventually become a client of mine because I have built up trust over time. It takes a while sometimes to nurture that audience. And yes, there are different buyer types. I am planning a podcast all about that, about the different buyer types, because not everybody is the same. So we have to be kind of speaking to them in different ways. That's a whole other can of worms. But my point being that the consistency is super important for you to have this body of content on your feed so people can go and find out more about you. They're going to bend you. I always say this about our high school senior clients in particular, if you market to Gen Z at all, this is the Netflix generation. They're used to just being able to binge all their content. So first thing they're going to do is if they see a post of yours that a friend of theirs posted, right? Maybe the friend is their client, is your client, and they see it come across their feed, their story, whatever. They're going to go, if they like the work, they're going to go to your feed and then they're going to start, vetting you. They're going to start binging your content. What do you have on your feeds? Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. What do you have for them? And what is it communicating to them? Is it random? Is it just stuff thrown together like, piecemeal? Is it just like totally, out there? Or is there a strategy? Is it leading them somewhere? Is it leading them into a marketing funnel? All of those things matter, you guys. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to go over very quickly what to do when your post goes viral and when you should post again, right? Like, let's say you've got a video that's just taken off. You're getting followers, you're getting a lot of engagement, you're doing all of these right things that we've been talking about. When do you post again? Do you post right away? Or is that going to kill the views? So I just had something like this happen about 5-6 weeks ago. I posted a random reel and it was a repurposed TikTok. The TikTok didn't do that well. I think I got like 3,000, maybe 4,000 views on it. It was okay. It was fine, but I repurposed it and it was like a lip syncing sort of trend, right? Those don't normally do that well for me on reels, but I was reposting it anyway because I repurposed my content because I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. So I put it on Instagram. And as of now, it has like 135,000 views on it. And I keep getting views. Like I got a lot of followers from it, which is really interesting. I think I talked about this in my last podcast. So it's still growing. It is still happening. Now I can see a drop of engagement. For a while, for every week, I was getting more and more and more reach, like way more reach. And it was all non-followers. So this is the other piece of that puzzle too. I want you guys to remember that you should be looking at your analytics. You should be screenshotting it. You should be recording the data somewhere. Always, but especially if you've got something that is going viral, you want to take note of it. You want to notice, okay, was it the trending sound? Was it the time of day? All of those little different things, like different pieces of it so that you can create some strategy going forward like we've been talking about. But you really need to like kind of be tracking some of those numbers. And so I could see that this thing was building, getting traction, all of these things. And just in the last like 4 or 5 days, now this was like maybe 5.5 weeks ago. So just in the last week, my numbers are dropping again, right? Like my reach had gotten 200,000 plus. Now my reach is back down to like 80, 90,000. So it is definitely losing some traction, but I'm still getting likes. I can still see it. People are still liking it as of today. And I'm still getting followers from it because it tells you that, someone follows you from this reel. So the content seems to be living a little bit longer than it used to, especially on Instagram. And I've also seen some of this happen on TikTok as well. So TikTok's algorithm really had kind of a 180 just recently. I think, again, they change it constantly. But just as a side note, it's taking a little bit longer for your videos to get the views. So a lot of people are stuck in like the 200 view range. And a lot of people are going to tell you, okay, you just make better content. Yeah, a lot of that is probably true. You got to get a better hook, whatever it is. Again, we're not going to talk about too much strategy in this, but I just want you to know that it could take a little while for those numbers to grow. And so don't give up on it yet. But we're talking now about, okay, I did have a video that has like over 100,000 views. Should I post again? Should I just jump right back in, or should I let it breathe? So my answer to this is going to be a little bit, from my personal experience and also from what I know in the marketing world. The platforms are a little different, but I think it is important to sort of let that content breathe a little bit if you can. Again, you should be engaging. You should be commenting and responding. You can even go, like if it's on Reels, you could go on your story. You could repost it again to your story, because that's like, you could do that daily, just in general. You could just be reposting older Reels, just so you know. That's one of my strategies. I'll go back through and find something that I know is my core messaging or has a great CTA or something, and I'm going to just throw it on my story again. But you could do that. You could talk about it. You could, like I said before, repurpose it, sort of like make the same type of video, but maybe in a different format. You could do all of those little different things. But from what I have seen, I started posting pretty much right after that. And a couple of my reels did okay, like 5,000, 6,000. I have one right now that's at like 13,000. None of them are hitting that, 130,000 view mark right now, but that video is still doing well. And then it did help some of my other subsequent videos. But here's the kicker, that were about the same thing. So my videos that are on a different topic or talking about something different or, just whatever, those aren't doing as well. But this video that I just posted yesterday that has like 13,000 views, I believe, is about the same type of content. It's the same messaging as that video that has 135,000. Okay. So the algorithm knows that that is what's happening. It's going to continue to feed that. So that's why I say, if you have something going viral, right, and you're getting a lot of views just in general, and people are responding to it, that's telling you that you need to do more of that. And on TikTok, it's similar, but for me, it's a different topic, right? So like in 2020, I had a video go, at least 2 videos go really, really viral, talking about pricing for photographers. It was a little inflammatory. It was talking about how, you shouldn't be charging $200 for everything. Again, a lot of controversy in the comments, did really great for my numbers. And it got me a lot of followers from that photographer community. And I've noticed over time, over the last 3 years, whenever I do a video that talks about that same topic, I'm instantly getting more views than if I'm talking about mindset or if I'm talking about other things, right? Like anything else. Cause I do talk about a lot of different things on TikTok, and a lot of this is experimentation, you guys. Like you don't know what's going to work unless you are putting yourself out there and, being visible and trying and failing. Okay. There's no failure, by the way. There's just feedback, but you know what I mean? So it's important for us to have that feedback. It's really important for us to know you have to experiment. But for me, I know that if I want higher views on TikTok, I got to be talking about pricing. It's like clockwork, and that's 3 years later. So what are the things I want you guys to do, and a takeaway that you can walk away from this episode with, because we're about to wrap up, is I want you to write down, get really clear on what it is you do, what problems you solve for people. What do you want to be known for? What do you want that messaging, that brand voice? What do you want that core messaging to be about? Because when you start creating the content, the algorithm, the feedback you're going to get from it is it's going to tell you what's working and what's not. Okay. So when you find a pocket of views and you get like a hit of attention for it, that is a sign that something you did in that video, it could be a lot of things, right? It could be like the music, it could be the time of day you posted, whatever. It could be a green screen. There's so many things. But the whole point is that what that video is about is going to probably be continuously valuable for your brand. So you want to get clarity on that. You want to know what it is and not just like throw stuff against the wall, hoping that it works and sticks. You want to be intentional about it so you can recreate it and actually build traction from it and get clients from it. All right. So you have a little bit of homework. I hope this episode was super valuable as always. If it was, I want to hear from you. I'm going to ask you for a review. Just like all of you guys who run businesses like myself, we all rely on reviews, okay? Specifically Google reviews. But for us podcasters, we rely on Apple podcast reviews. And I really, really, really appreciate when you guys leave it. It matters a lot to me. So you know how much it matters to your business. If you've got a second, please go ahead and leave me a review. I've made it super easy for you. All you got to do is go to ratethispodcast.com/Renee Bowen. The link is in the show notes. You can go ahead and just click on it. You can decide the platform you want to leave a review for and do it really, really quick and easy. I really appreciate it. If you got value from this episode, if you're walking away with something that you're going to be like, Renee, oh my God, that was fire. I'm implementing it right now. I want you to go leave a review and tell me. And thank you, of course, for joining me again. If you loved it, go ahead and share on social. Tag me at Renee Bowen when you listen to it. I always repost when you guys do that, and I add it to my highlight on my Instagram as well, because all of your feedback, whether you're sharing it, telling me in person, whatever, all matters so much to me. And I love this community, and I love you guys. I really mean it. I want the best for you. I want you to win, and I want to help you win. So have an incredible rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time.